I'm getting hijacked now, all right? Let me get this, all right. I'm gonna share the screen, because this is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I can't get the cabinet working, but so, all right, we're ready.
Okay, can we stand for this? Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation of America, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Councilmember Clotworthy. Here. Councilmember Houchin.
Here.
Councilmember McAdams. Here. Councilmember Ostrom.
Here.
Mayor Granstrom. Here. This meeting was advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and complies with all the laws therein. All right, so we have, before we get into things, this is the first meeting that we are doing live stream, so bear with me as I go through stuff, like to make sure we're still live streaming everything onto the YouTube channel. It will be available online for anybody that's out there on our website monthly to be able to click on the link to get to see it. And anything that happens at the meeting will be available in the next couple of days after it's trimmed down to what it from the beginning and to the end to make sure it's all set up and it'll be available online for anybody to view anytime afterwards. So just want to give everybody a heads up on that.
Thank you for doing that.
So the video is not great yet, so I've got to figure out why it's blinking, but that's why I put the agenda up so you can see the agenda. For everybody on live stream, they're only looking at the agenda this time. Moving right along, we have meeting minutes for a regular meeting for July 15th of 2024. Need a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? We now have committee reports. We need a motion to accept the committee reports that were submitted.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
We have no correspondence, Mayor. And we are moving right along to engineer's report with Greg Fusco.
Thank you, Ryan. Members of the governing body, for action items this month, there was a voucher on the agenda for the final work that was completed for the reconstruction of the storm drainage on Lake Drive. There's also a voucher for work completed to date, voucher number 2 for the Brooklawn water treatment plant work. Real quick, if I may, the NJDOT funds, the special funds we received to replace the storm sewer piping between the firehouse and the NJDOT outfall. As you know, it's been awarded. The pre-construction meeting is going to be scheduled on August 27th. That will be next Tuesday. As soon as we have the meeting, we'll have an idea when the contractor is going to be able to start. I'll be able to report in September. With regard to our NJDOT municipal aid money for fiscal year 2023, this is the project for 3rd Street Phase 1. We did receive authorization to advertise. We're receiving bids next Wednesday. So again, we'll be able to have that recommendation for everyone at the September meeting. With respect to the water treatment plant, I don't know how many of you have driven by, but the excavation has been done, the concrete slabs for the point contact tank, and the granular activated carbon equipment has been installed. The core samples that were taken will be broken next week, so we can make sure and verify that the concrete is in compliance with the specifications. Today, they completed one bypass out at the plant. Tomorrow, they'll complete the second. And once that happens, then a week's worth of piping that has to be done.
Great, you had no problem fitting them?
Actually, we did. Very unusual thing happened when we did the test pits. and measured the diameter of the existing piping. Everything was typical and everything was in order. When they actually opened the trenches larger to do the insertion valves, we encountered a pipe material that no one has experienced. We actually had to invite US Pipe, which is one of the largest international pipe manufacturers, to the site to see what was out there. They had a couple of seasoned workers that have been around since the early days, so to speak, when ductile iron pipe started being implemented in the industry, and they really didn't have anything to offer about the pipe type. They estimated it's about 100 years old, maybe 110 years old. There was a couple of bastard pieces out there, and we happened to have to deal with it. So special sleeves had to be ordered. We had to wait about a week for them to come in, and they did. And knock on wood, everything went well today.
Good, good. Maybe it come out of a ship.
Pardon me?
Maybe it came out of a ship, that pipe. They're, or made for a ship.
Yeah,
because,
it's very unusual.
there was discussion, because it had grooves and stuff on the outside, right?
And we have photos now that we retrieved the cut pieces out, very thick.
And that portion was completely taken out and replaced, or we're tapping into whatever that is?
Well, that was put in order to do the bypass, so those sections will come out, yes, eventually. They will come out.
Great.
I can only hope that we don't encounter it again later on and do another round.
Let's put that out there in the universe.
I have nothing else.
Great. Do you have any questions for Greg?
I know you're in it right now, but if it's early as our timeline's saying that we have been talking about the last couple of months, has anything changed?
Knock on wood, so far so good. As I mentioned before, what I plan on doing, the minute the piping goes in, it's sticking up out of the ground, we have to asphalt it for location. And I'll send those plans to the county, and we'll let them know that we're ready. So, if anything were to happen and somebody else were to cancel out on the same type of unit, then maybe they can offer it to us early.
Yeah.
That's the intent. I would imagine that would happen sometime in mid-September. We lost last week, and then we lost a week looking for these special sleeves. So we're not behind, but we're about 2 weeks from our anticipation to submit the information.
I couldn't ask for, but the gap filters themselves, are there any timelines on them coming in?
That's what we were saying.
Yeah, we have a delivery date of January 20th.
Yeah.
We do, official.
2025. Right.
Yeah, okay.
We can bump that up. We're going to do everything.
Okay. And that hasn't changed?
That has not changed. That's
Yeah, and then there's
guaranteed.
letters going out
That's
to
guaranteed.
the Lord Prophet's office and in our district's 5 office that are going to help us out behind the scenes to see if anything, if somebody does cancel, like he was saying, that we could get the vessel sooner, that's great. Once the fittings are there and they know and Calgon is aware of it, we can put it out there. It's because there's so many people ordering these right now. You can ask anybody. There's Tara and all the different Huntington, whatever. They have all been like slammed for getting these vessels. So, and it's only going to get worse. So we're in the line. But American Water's got a huge contract with them. So if they cancel something that might be something beneficial to us, we're aware of it. So they might be able to get some back. So that's what I've been hearing. So because it's been a lot. There's a lot of people ordering right now, and American Water just put in a huge order the other day. So it's worth even more. So
We're popping up all over. If you drive up and down the 95 corridor or the Route 1 corridor in Delaware, if you look, you'll see these systems sporadically where treatment plants are located, and they've never been there before. So people are well aware of the situation now and doing something.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks.
Emails for Greg. All right. Thanks, Greg. All right. We'll move right along to the public portion. Individuals must state their name and usual address for the record and respect the 5-minute time limit while addressing the governing body. I do recommend that everybody could, because for the live stream, we need you to come up to the front, close to this mic if possible, so we can be heard. So if you do, please come up and approach the the microphone up here and state your name and residence. I need a motion to open to the public.
Motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now open to the public.
I know, shocker. Hi, I'm Jen Gertman, 215 Pennsylvania Road. I just would like to know what safety plans you have in place for the development of the McDonald's that's coming, for the school. It's very close to the school, there's no fence there. The playground fence is only waist high. So I would like to, or at least if you guys have something in motion, if you're in the talks, there just needs to be something done because of how close that is to the school. Also, I'm concerned of parking for your staff, because that's gonna take away parking for them, which is a trickle-down effect. They're gonna have to go to the street, then where are parents gonna park? The staff shouldn't have to worry about where they're gonna park, going to work every day.
All right, so, first, we haven't announced anything that's going there yet. So officially yet,
Okay.
so I can tell you a couple things, so we ease your mind on this stuff. But anything that come up will be on planning and zoning, probably November. We're shooting for November, that will go there, whatever it is. But in the meantime, we did, secure parking for teachers. We got 12 spots roughly, based on the, what we have right now. I wanted 18, we needed 18, based on how many cars are parked there for the teacher, to try to get to the location close to that fence line, right?
Mhm.
There's gonna be a new fence all the way through, and it's actually gonna curve a little bit, kind of like a baseball field would, and tie into the park. And there'll be a gate where the fence is, where people walk in, so it actually be enclosed the entire way.
Good.
Like right now, it's open, right? So you can
Yeah.
walk in on a sidewalk there.
Yeah,
And
I
the
just
re-
feel like we're pushing it between the
Yeah.
carnival there and now
So,
this.
well, when
like,
when the school bought it, we were redoing the road on Community Road, so what they did was, we thought ahead and said, let's build a sidewalk straight across and tie it in, because so the kids can walk safely around to the school. We just never put the fence in, because we never finished the project, because the school no longer has it. So, but that will be all taken care of on that thing, and then, from what I see on the plans, along the grass line on the road to facing that way, there's gonna be another fence that blocks the view of Murray Road, which is that street that's right on the other side. So there's gonna be a fence on from Browning all the way up to Route 130, straight across.
What about for along the playground?
The playground, it's just gonna, the fence for the baseball field is gonna come around the curve,
Mhm.
and it's gonna go right to the playground. And then I believe we're talking about putting a net on the side so the balls can't get into the playground a little bit better. That's the thing that they have.
There's a fence there. but
There's a fence there, but we're trying to put a net up.
You're gonna extend that?
So that it doesn't go into the,
Yeah, we're gonna try to protect the kids more, because some of the kids can hit the ball pretty well, so.
that's a shot, though, that's.
Well, I'm more concerned about the traffic that is gonna be coming in and out and.
Yeah, well,
traffic
it's gonna be
is a huge
completely
thing,
fenced off.
so.
It's like,
There's no.
there's gonna be no fence. The only way you're gonna be able to get out is coming into the parking lot. There'll be
But
no
you know what I'm
fence.
trying to say.
I think what
like-
you're asking is there gonna be a larger fence, like a
Yes.
6-foot fence that will block physically seeing the children,
Yeah.
is kind of what you're
I
asking.
don't think
as
so. Not around
opposed-
the park. I mean, we can talk about it.
I think that's the question she's
Yeah.
asking.
Okay, we could probably
Absolutely.
talk about
Because
it.
anybody can walk up there and pick up a child, because you both of you will realize soon enough, when your kids are older, they don't have enough staff to watch your children at the place at recess. That's been my biggest argument for the school. Anybody can walk up there and take one of those
And reach
kids.
over the.
I can attest to that. There was a problem with my son with another child on that playground, and I work from home, so I have the luxury of having lunch in my car and watching for a half hour, and it is a
I used to
free
do the same thing.
all.
I used to do the exact
I mean,
same
they
thing.
were throwing my son's shoes into the road over the fence. And, you know, it took everything inside of me not to, mom would flip out and run outside. We're like, what are you doing? But, I mean, most of them, and they all deserve breaks, I totally understand, but they're on their phones, they're talking amongst themselves. And, my son is in first grade, so he's with the pre-K, the kindergarten, and the first, and they're the smallest. So they should be really watched, and they're not. They were climbing over the fence, so that definitely, I think, is something that should be.
Well, if you have a 6-foot fence there, you'll be able to see a kid more going up high on that. And I don't think you're gonna go above 6 if you're talking about a high fence.
I think there needs to be something just locking it all together, but it's not see-through and not more privacy, because that's gonna be really close to the school. I don't know if you realize that, like,
Oh, no,
it's a huge safety
we're well aware,
thing.
we're well aware how close it is.
I
I mean, that's something to be
addressed
addressed.
before, I mean, that's a lot of school board
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah, right.
Have been, so that would be like directed to them, what the teachers are doing, whatever. But I think while the plans are going, it would make sense to look
Well,
at
because
it.
if the fence along the backside is gonna be 12 feet, right? So it's gonna curve this way, and then tie in and then go down to the lower thing, because they don't want the ball shot over into the parking lot, right? So I think we can have a conversation to tie in, maybe have a bigger fence around just the side and then this side. It won't be for the parking lot, but I mean, we can probably talk about that.
Well, wouldn't they have to, if they were talking, because in that meeting, I think there was a discussion about that, you know, if they're gonna put netting too.
Well, that's the 12 feet, then the other, what was it, 3-foot netting? 3-foot. Yeah, 3-foot netting.
So I'm saying, an idea of putting that 12-foot fence, or, you know, the cost from a 6, you know, could be a discussion there to put something, a 12-foot fence is something like we were looking for. Or,
Mhm.
But this would be, what do you call that? The fencing, it's, like she was saying, privacy.
Privacy, like the stockade.
It's preventing them from grabbing the kids and running,
Right.
basically.
And you're
Snatch
also,
and grab.
the kids are gonna try to sneak away. They already try to go over to the church and, you know, once the McDonald's or whatever is gonna be there.
Well, the ones that definitely gonna be attracted.
and usually it's just one person out there watching kids, right?
I'm not sure. My kids are older now, so I've kind of given up that fight.
I've come
But-
here a couple times in the morning, out around break time, and I just saw one person.
Do they still let the kids go home after 6th
No,
grade?
that stopped the
That
like
stopped.
COVID area.
When we were kids, that's what we
I
were
know.
able to do, right?
And I used to pull them out because too many incidents would happen. And I actually like that better because I was like, I can bring them home, but.
Mhm.
I think it's something that we look
Yeah.
at, talk about, figure out.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Use
make
what you
sure
have.
we're aware of. And then, now as far as the parking, are you charging the school for parking?
There will be a fee established, the maintenance fee, like, you know, for snow removal, keeping the upkeep along the fence line and stuff like that. It's a modest fee, it's around like $3,000, I think it was $3,000.
And you know, you got,
And that won't hurt the school budget or anything?
Yeah, it won't hurt the school budget too much, and like, we try to keep it modest, but we try to think of everything we could in trying to solve the problem. So we know teachers need a place to park. My biggest fear is when they start renovating it, where
are they
those
gonna
20
park?
spots are.
Right.
So that's one of the issues I'm working on now. I have a couple ideas, that we're gonna be, but we gotta wait
Right.
until,
I mean,
we gotta wait till the
as a
deal's
parent-
set, because the deal's not done yet.
Right,
and then
no, I know, and
just
it's,
worry
you
about
know,
that
small town shuts down rumors and, you know.
Yeah.
and just- But
it's
it's
a
a-
combination of community groups.
Get into, I just, you know, my thing has always been the kids' safety, so.
You mentioned McDonald's and Hamper, people went,
Sorry, but that out of the bag or whatever.
huh? So, yes, you know, I know we have former people from the school board and people, kids, actually, I raised 6 children, so I'm well aware of, you know, what kids are capable of doing. So, yeah, we're on it. Like I say, they have extensive meetings with, you know, possibilities with fencing and netting, and it's always coming up.
And just to be clear, if we do go to the planning and zoning in November, when it does, if it's something comes to fruition for that place, it won't be including the playground. That's something we're gonna have to do here and have a discussion in the council side to see if they wanted to change that. That what's going on over there is totally separate than what the playground you're talking about. The
Yeah.
playground would have to be something that the council can decide here what to do. Since they own, the borough does own that,
Mhm.
you know, that playground,
Right.
for sure. Stockade fence is a nice thing, that you can see, you know, you block the one side, at least from the road itself.
Right.
You
I
know,
think that would be a huge,
because if you tie the big fence over to the other thing, you're still gonna have a fence, a gate to go into the side over here. Like, but if you have it up to the sidewalk, and there's gonna be a gate on the sidewalk to come in
okay.
underneath the fence, so.
And will that gate be locked?
Should be locked at all times by the teachers. But when we put the one over here on by the softball field, that was supposed to be locked daily by the maintenance guy. That was supposed to be locked daily, because you let the kids come in the morning and then they had to lock it daily. Now, it's only 4 foot, but at least it was something they try to keep everybody in.
Right.
Things they just don't walk off. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening, Andrew Garris, 311 New Broadway. Ordinance 17/2024. We get some details on that fence. It just says fences in the Borough Code.
Yeah, the fence. Is that what you're asking about, the fence one?
Is that what you guys are talking about, or is that like?
No, that was, that was two parts. One is, obviously, what will be above our ordinance. We have to adjust the fence height for that location, so it's kind of like changing the rules that you're allowed to, only on that blocking lot and another blocking lot, which is the hotel, where the hotel is, the Motel 6 or whatever. We'll weigh in, that they'll put, we can put that 12-foot fence, like a high fence there, that goes above, without coming to planning and zoning. So they don't, if the hotel wants to put a big fence up, they can. It's actually beneficial to the residents behind the
I was
hotel.
gonna say they are encouraged.
That's why we're putting this ordinance together for that location and that location. That's what this
It's
ordinance
just the height, it's not.
is. It's just the height, it just changes the height, so you don't have to come to don't have to get a variance for it. For those, but there's block and lot specific.
It's called it's called an overlay ordinance, which is specific to redevelopment areas,
Yeah.
which those two places are.
Okay, so John can't put up a.
You can't put up a 12-foot fence, yeah.
11 and a half.
Just a couple quick ones. What's an Oprah attorney and why do we need one?
What's that?
What is, 1/30/2024?
Oprah.
Oprah attorney?
Attorney, why do we need one, he said?
What is it and why do you want?
Oh, an Oprah attorney? It's somebody that specializes in Oprah, because we're getting a lot of, I've been getting a lot of Oprah requests that are very technical on whether to follow the rules, because the laws change constantly. So, basic stuff, you don't use the Oprah attorney at all. Like if somebody says, oh, I need bills, I don't use the attorney. It's only for specialized stuff that are seen, especially for police forces, because we deal with body worn cameras and stuff like that. Some things are operable, some things are not on that stuff. So an attorney is able to distinguish that. We send all the evidence to the attorney makes the call and then puts together the letter to respond. So it's actually cleaner because, and it keeps us from, it protects me and other people in council and the administration from going to GRC. It's just, but we only use them for when necessary. It's not something for the basic overs. I get overs every day, so that I don't use them often. I use them like twice so far. That's it.
Last one I got, right under that 131, board, planning board conflict engineer.
That is to do with what's going on over there. So when they come to the board in November, Key Engineering is actually the developer's engineer. So they can't come before a planning and zoning board and go against their work. So
It's like an auditor.
They're not the developer's engineer per se.
per se, yeah, but
They're the borough's engineer, but the borough is working with the developer and instead of having two engineers, they have one engineer and it saves costs, okay? This is only for the purposes of the site plan. When they go in front of the planning board, we can't have key engineers review their own work, although they would probably love to review their own work.
So it's just.
It's only for this one time.
yeah. So we just hired them just for that.
And if there's any other time that there's a conflict, we would go to them, but that's.
Also like a conflict of interest?
Yeah,
is what-
yeah.
Okay.
It's not like an actual conflict and,
Oh, yeah, I was like, I can go in there.
No.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mina Katana, 115 Pennsylvania Road. I don't have anything serious. I just was thinking this and I'm here, so. Have
You
you?
have to lean down, it just,
Okay.
it just, pick it up.
You sure?
Has it ever been discussed recently about changing the ordinances concerning having outdoor animals and chickens? You know, that it's like classified as farm animal, but
Chicken,
then
yeah.
as like, the specifications has to do with like if it's a pet or, I can't remember the exact.
Well,
wording.
the animal ordinance was changed, like 10 years ago, I think. And they took that and made it a farm animal, the chicken's labeled as a farm animal. under the guidelines of the animal ordinance, right? So there's been no discussion that I know by any ordinance committee to change that ordinance to allow chickens as pets or have a coop or whatever they call it. Not a coop.
Okay, so, but that is something that could be brought to,
Are you asking about chickens specifically?
I think that's what you meant. so-
yes, I'm not specifically talking about my house, I don't even have a fence.
There are other towns that have specific chicken ordinances.
Yeah.
In fact, I've written a few of them. But they come from a number of people coming in and saying, we want to do chickens, we want to have a coop, we want to do this whole thing. And we haven't had, to the best of my knowledge, we haven't had that
That's what I'm just,
groundswell.
beginning idea. I
I
know that I have two of my neighbors that would totally be,
What choice?
we talked about, yeah.
Mhm.
So,
I actually, years ago, maybe about 10 years ago, asked that question about chickens where I live. Wouldn't mind having a couple chickens, organic chicken, chicken, eggs, everything. But, yeah, I mean, I might be one of those
I
people.
don't think my other
I'm not a
neighbor,
cat person, but I might be a chicken person.
my other
say
neighbor,
you're a
Mrs.
cat
Jen, would really like that
You've
very
gotten in
much.
trouble before.
Okay, that's all, I just wanted to know, because just beginning ideas, I'm sitting here, so I'm not classified.
Very good.
That's all, thank
We
you.
thank you for
Thank you.
your questions. And any updates, Anyone else? Brittany?
Hi, Brittany Henry, 221 North Kennedy Ave. So my question is for resolution 122-2024, these Motorola radios,
What
they're
number?
really $5,000 a piece.
The radio.
Police radio.
It's the back of page 1.
Police radios.
So they're really over $5,000 a piece.
Oh, yeah.
Do
They're
you have the
insane.
make and model of this?
They're Motorola's, I don't know the exact make and model of it, do you know?
I know they're approved here.
You give me a minute.
Yeah, we'll get the make and model, but they're Motorola's and they're specialized.
I'm sure they're special, but I just was like, that's really high.
Oh, no, it's unbelievable. It's because of, the specialized, radios where they have to have a certain frequency and stuff like that. And they have that, now that it's mandated that they have GPSs in them. So that's what we have to buy new ones. So, and you can get them outfitted with the GPS, but they're not gonna make the parts for the old radios like they used to. So it would be hard to find parts for them.
So you had it up on the top.
We don't have to, but we went the direction, we already borrowed the money for the bond a couple of months ago for this reason, to get these radios up to date and it'll be lasting for 10 years easily.
Oh,
So,
okay. They had a warranty, I guess. And my other question, when could we expect our water sample?
When do we do the water
When-
sample?
Yeah,
The next letter goes out on Thursday,
okay, 'cause
but the sample is not gonna be in there because we haven't got the results back yet.
yeah, when.
So we try to hold off
when-
until we get,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and let me finish yet. So we sent it out last month. We haven't got the sample back yet to update the letter with the new sample. Because we have a certain date deadline. We have to meet by Thursday. We have to get the next letter out. So it's gonna be the same exact letter as the last quarter. We held off because we had a violation by going past the date because we wanted to put the new results on there. So I don't know what the results are at this current
Yeah, I
point,
checked the
but I can
website.
always see if we can maybe post something on our Facebook to say the results are, to give an update on it. And maybe in the next water update that we've been doing every couple of weeks, that we'll put the new results in there. But the letter you're gonna get in the mail is not gonna have any updated numbers yet.
Well, not just the letter, but on our water watch, we haven't had we don't have any results. I feel like it's been 3 months.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't have the results for the new
Yeah,
quarter.
so when did they take them?
We're right around now. We should get it, we'll probably get it tomorrow.
Okay.
And then we
yeah,
already have a
so-
letter already printed.
Okay, yeah.
So
I was
I'm just
checking,
saying
I
that-
was just wondering
Yeah.
if there was some reason it was.
Yeah, that's why it's not on Water Watch yet. We don't have the numbers yet.
Yeah, and it
But the
doesn't
sample
show-
was done in the end of July, so you have to have it right away. So it was already done.
Okay,
So it's just a matter of waiting back
to get
from the lab to tell us what it is.
Gotcha. Okay. And the one more, I don't know, you might have already went over this. Oh, 18/2024, this 200K, is that,
It's a reintroduce of a borough, that's one of my notes for the thing, it's a reintroduce of a bond ordinance that we passed last year. There was a clerical error in the advertisement at the Gloucester City News. We advertised it to say that it's gonna be on the next meeting, and then we advertised, when we adopted it, we advertised it again and said the meeting prior. The date, with the date of adoption with the meeting prior, which is illegal under bond law. So I can't borrow the money. So we have to reintroduce it. So we didn't know about the error until I went to go get the money. It does not stop us from anything. The $1.6 million and that 200,000 was for the project.
right?
So, I need the 1.6 million, that's one we're borrowing September 5th, we're borrowing the money. So the 200,000 I couldn't put in this little note I'm getting, but I will get it in like November or something like that. But it's not gonna hurt me because I don't need to pay the money until like March or something like that. But it's just we're reintroducing it because there was a clerical error on our advertisement. And it was caught by bond counsel, and you cannot spend money without having everything proper. So it was just a clerical error, so it's like, I mean, it's on our office. We just superimposed the number and used the same date as the adoption at the introduction, and you can't do that in ordinances. And you can't just go back and say, oh, we can put this out in the advertisement a year later, so it just doesn't work that way.
And thank you for the recording, it's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? You want to go to roll number?
Oh, sure, yeah, I'll write it down, thank you.
APX 6000.
APX 6000, thank you. I'm just learning as I go here.
Speaking of clerical error. Again, I think we may have, because we got 1/21/2024 on the last agenda, 21 through 23, and then we got 21 through 24.
What's going on again?
That's this one, that's that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
What's that?
I think we have duplicate numbers for resolutions. The latest.
Oh, from the last meeting.
Yeah,
This is last meeting,
yes.
and then we had 2024, starting on what's this one?
Starts at 21, goes up to 23.
What was the last meeting one?
Also ends at 20, ends at
2023, it ended in 2023, the last meeting. So we started on the 21. All right, I'll fix that when we announce, when we go to that. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I think that's like crazy.
There's a driveway in there. People put a fence.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it all in one shot when we go.
Show the numbers. Last meeting.
I don't know if they can, but I would. I mean, I could talk to the
Yeah.
driveway gate on it, but I don't think.
Anybody else from the public? All right. Nothing from the public, nothing noted. I need a motion to close to the public.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving right along. We have ordinances introduced on July 15th. This is the second reading, public hearing. We have ordinance number 15, 2024, amending chapter 141, vehicles and traffic in the code of the Borough of Brooklawn. Excuse me. Ordinance number 16 of 2024, amending chapter 112, parks and recreation in the code of the Borough of Brooklawn. I need a motion to open to the public.
Motion.
Second.
We're now open to the public. I mean, all in favor?
Aye.
We're now open to the public on this, these ordinances. Anybody from the public? Nothing noted. We need a motion to close to the public.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we need a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Any questions on the motion? All right. Councilmember Clotworthy?
Yes.
Councilmember Houchins?
Yes.
Councilmember Ostrom?
Yes.
Council President McAdams?
Yes.
Ordinance carried. Going on to new business. We have ordinance first reading. We have introduction of ordinances of ordinance number 17 of 2024, amending chapter 83, fences in the code of Borough of Brooklawn. And we have ordinance number 18 of 2024, reintroduced of the bond ordinance authorizing water plant rehabilitation, renovations, improvements in and for the Borough of Brooklawn, appropriating the sum of $200,000. I need a motion to introduce.
Motion.
Second. Any questions on the motion? And, let's see, we need roll call. Councilmember Flatworthy?
Yes.
Councilmember Houchins?
Yes.
Councilmember Ostrom?
Yes.
Council President McAdams?
Yes.
All right. We're going to go to the consent agenda. I'm going to move these ordinance numbers down from the previous meeting. Said it starts at 124, right? That's 124. So we can just do them, we can do them last, first three will be the last. Okay. We have resolution number 124, authorization to enter into the New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Alliance Agreement with, for the purchase of a police vehicle. Number 125 of 2024, authorization to purchase of 2025 Chevy Tahoe in the amount of $67,609.88 from Pellegrino Chevrolet Incorporated through the New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Alliance. Number 126 of 2024, authorization to apply municipal liens. Number 127, 2024, authorization to appoint Class 3 Officer Anthony Hurst for School Resource Officer. Number 28 of 2024, authorizing the Borough Attorney to proceed with in-rent foreclosure. Number 129 of 2024, authorize the appointment of Borough Building Inspector Wayne Hans. Resolution number 130 of 2024, authorization appointment of Gary Merrick, Oprah Attorney. Resolution number 131 of 2024, authorization to appointment of Tom Lisi, PE, as the Planning Board Conflict Engineer. Resolution number 132, 2024, authorization to submission of the application for the New Jersey Local Finance Board pursuant NJSA 48:2-7, parentheses, D, and NJSA 48:2-26. Resolution 133 of 2024, authorization and acceptance of a 2023 audit. Resolution number 134 of 2024, authorization to purchase 12 Motorola Solution radios for the Borough of Brooklawn Police Department in the amount of $67,261.20, New Jersey State Contract T-0106/1916198. Resolution 135 of 2024, authorization to purchase bleachers for the Borough of Brooklawn for the amount of $31,733.79 from Ben Schaefer's Recreation, New Jersey Contract 16-Fleet-00135. Any motion to accept?
Motion.
Second. Any questions on the motion that was done?
Could I ask one, Ryan?
Yep, absolutely.
128-2024, what is an in-rent foreclosure?
In-rent foreclosure, foreclosures of municipal liens that we have. So we have a couple municipal liens. This was one of the things I was going to state if there was no questions. One of the things I was going to bring up anyway. So we have multiple municipal liens in town that just get added on to anytime we're taxed to go to the municipal lien, but no one bought it outside of here. So it's actually against, like, we don't collect that money ever unless somebody ever pays it off in the lien. So there's a couple problem properties that we have. One of them is being a property that's on Broadway that we've always had, that used to be owned by him over there. So we need to foreclose on to be able to sell, and we might have a person that's interested in buying it. So we're looking to foreclose on these properties. The solicitor will set up once he has a resolution, we'll set up a way to foreclose on these properties and let them notify the owners and see if anybody's interested, at least trying to pay off the debt or and use it on their own accord. So that's what it is. It certifies us to do that.
So a bank could do it, but since these are town-owned, we do it ourselves?
We were foreclosed on it, basically. The bank can do it. The bank might have just gave up on the property, or if somebody's not paying their taxes or anything like that. So some of the liens, if you see in a resolution, you have liens that are like $30-some thousand or $100,000, and that's been in the, borough owned for like almost 30 years, some of them. And you clean them off the tax books too, we just never really cleaned it off, so our new tax collector wants to clean off our books, let's get it try as clean as possible. And then, we take ownership and then we move forward, and we can use them as assets if we really wanted to.
What does that do for the money that's owed on the property?
What's that?
What does that do for the money that's owed on those properties?
Just $60,000 total that's against the municipal lien. Meaning like all the money that should be owed to the borough, at $160,000 over, could be over 50 years. It would just cancel all that. It would just come off the books. It doesn't affect our earning power or anything like that. It would just be, it just is non-collectible at this time. It's set up as a reserve and a receivable in the bank statement, so it would just be reversed on the debit and credit if you understand account. Doesn't really affect us.
And we can't pursue that money that's owed.
If they want to keep the property,
You're going to pursue, possibly in.
we have somebody that wants to buy it,
Yeah,
but they're not gonna buy it for the full amount, but
Right.
we could get some money for it, or the person that's there is not, or whoever they are, aren't paying their taxes on it.
The remedy that the state gives you for that money is to take the property.
Right.
You know, so it's not, you.
Like we're buying the property,
Exactly.
But we're not paying anything.
we're paying for anything, but
We're not-
we're owed this money, so we're getting the property for the money to come off for us.
I guess-
Basically that way, because people can just sit there forever
And
on,
not pay.
municipal lien can go on forever. Whereas outside lien, they can foreclose the property after 2 years, but municipal lien can go on forever. And there's a couple properties that we need to get off of this list.
And there's nothing we can do to collect that money.
Well, some of
As
them
well
aren't
as
even built,
foreclose on the
some of them are just,
You're going,
You get
one or the other.
One or the other.
yeah, some of them are under the water, like there's a couple of us on Broadway, they're actually underwater. I mean, I think the taxes on it is like $150 a year, but you just clean it off the books, and then it doesn't go against the taxes. Like, and then there's no lien on it, so those are the ones you kind of want to clean up. And you say, yeah, could you put a billboard there? Yeah, but like, it's not something that we could pursue. Like, there's one, it's like right on the I guess right that side is over when you go underneath the bridge, right there. Like, we could put a billboard there theoretically, but it's just a matter of if you want to do that and pursue that. You could use that land for that, because we don't own it, but we could own it by foreclosure. And now some of the owner can come back and stay and pay the debt off and stay out of foreclosure. Right, that's in their right.
So the only thing stopping them from doing that is us foreclosing. Like, they can go and open up 10 more businesses, however, there's nothing negative on their credit, anything like that. They owe us 180 grand, but they can just pursue any business aspect they want.
Well, it's gonna show up that they had a property.
They had a foreclosure.
It will show up on
their name. Oh, you'll show up in
And what they
And we
do,
don't have anything to go after the new property or business that they open,
No.
even though they owe us all that money.
Unless they sell the property before we foreclose.
If they try to sell before, then we can.
But nobody's gonna sell the property before they foreclose, because they're gonna run a title search, and it's gonna show this.
It's gonna show up there.
so who, like, for instance, what you're saying is, there's an owner that has a small business or an LLC, who is in the title, owns that property. The only way you could go after that is to go after that LLC. And a lot of these, which I'm concerned with a lot of our properties that are owned by private LLCs, many in town. But say their business is worth a truck and a whatever, that's it.
Yeah, they got multiple LLCs, one property, one can't touch the other. It's limited
It's
liability.
literally
Limited
limited, so
liability.
you can't go after them.
So.
It's smart, it's business, it's
Oh,
ruthless business.
It's a ruthless, smart, that type of thing, it's not for honest people, you know.
I did it.
Well, I had one too. I had an LLC. But that's just the way it works, and then, so I was talking with Ryan, and coming into this new, field that I'm in right now. What's the advantage of carrying these things on for years and years? We've been doing, right?
Mhm.
There's no advantage, really.
I like.
So
the
let's
idea.
clean them all, let's get rid of them.
I like the idea.
So that's where we're at.
And we do have one property that somebody's interested in buying from us directly right away, even at the foreclosure. We'll go through it. I don't know what the money would be at this point, but that will come for council to make a decision. It's in a redevelopment area, so you can actually do it without having to go out and bid for it, public auction.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in previous things, we've done public auctions, so in
That's
this
only,
case,
but this is in a redevelopment zone, so you can negotiate directly with anybody.
I see. I see.
And this particular resolution pertains to any property that falls under this, or we?
Every property that's in that list and the resolution, with the top list that you see in the, that if you saw, they're the only ones that are on the municipal lien. We're just trying to clean them up. Right? We're doing all. So, like I said, there's a couple of them that are just like very small amounts, but then there's one on Lake Drive, that's a lot,
It's a
that's
lot.
really nothing, I don't even know what that lot is.
It's actually, there's a buildable lot. It's, I think only 50 foot, but I don't know what the, and again, zoning, you would know. No, it could be a municipal garage. It could be a tow station for the police. There's a lot of things that could be done, which we didn't even know about until we started. Brian said, I don't know where that is. I grew up in this town. So you go on
Between
to,
houses, I thought it was
you
what
go
where
to a Google
Flowers
map,
was,
and
what
here
it was,
you're
two
thinking,
doors down.
you're
I just thought
thinking,
it extended their property.
but
I thought it was part of their plot.
it is a buildable lot, and if somebody's interested in it,
Buildable, it's 3,000 square feet, you could build something on it, but you'd be variance.
that's buildable.
6,000, you need 6,000 square feet for buildable. Without variance.
Without a variance. Yeah, so, I mean, we put a shed there.
You could,
Right.
but there are three properties that are interesting that we could possibly get out of this, depending on going through it. One, we gotta check on environmental stuff, but we have a grant to pay for, that whole entire environmental. You could pass something called Spill Exemption Act that protects that land from us having to fix the property, with the
That's a great
environmental.
question.
Still be responsibility for the previous owner to take care of it.
Tim, that was another question we had, when we talked about this, there is substantial, that, the people that are responsible for this property that we're talking about have been dumping on it for 7 years.
Now, I can't get into that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, so, no, I'm just, okay. all right.
But that's what I was saying, but you can, if there's environmental issues, we'll find out, eventually, but we're protected under the Spill Exemption Act, right?
If we take it.
We should be. I know, that's what I said, I gotta make sure, before we foreclose on that one property, I would be doing that, make sure we don't get caught with anything, because we don't wanna pay for anybody else's environmental issues. So, but that's what that is.
Thank you.
And then I wanted to bring up, just while we have this open, discussion, is, the audit, acceptance on there. I have, an affidavit that everybody's got to sign here, so I can send the audit up the thing. There was no findings this year on the audit, so that's a good, so it was a clean audit, so that's a really good thing. In the 12 years I've been doing it, I think I've had 7 years without a finding, so that's a good thing. A lot of towns have a finding every single year, so, so it's good to get through an audit without having any, major deficiencies or some deficiencies on what we're doing in the staff and all that stuff, so it was actually very good this year. I'll give everybody a heads up on that. All right, so I will do roll call. Anybody else have any questions on it? Okay. Councilmember Clotworthy?
Yes.
Councilmember Houchins?
Yeah.
Councilmember Ostrom?
Yes.
Council President McAdams?
Yes.
All right. Moving along to, we have fire applications. We have acceptance of firemen, association application for membership for Rachel Versick, Brandon Welsh, and Jason Boyce. We need a motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Move right along. We have bills and vouchers. We have a list of the bills, the motion to pay all the bills and vouchers that are in order. We need a motion to accept. Motion. Second.
Second.
Any questions or concerns on the motion? None noted. I need a roll call vote. Councilmember Clotworthy?
Yes.
Councilmember Houchins?
Yes.
Councilmember Ostrom?
Yes.
Council President McAdams?
Yes.
All right, we're now open to council members, Mayor, so you can set that up any way you want.
John?
Thank you.